okay?
Yes.
Could you keep an eye on the time?
Yes, you've been hearing it all. Sorry, what was that?
Could you keep an eye on the time, thank you?
Yes, certainly.
Since this has been done on a pink
Magazine
tape,
sitting there.
I might be extravagant and use it at 7.5, so on the playback you hear super treble. It'll just distort though. Anyway.
Not much point. Yes, anyway.
Oh, train cancellations.
Oh, you've been a victim of our transport revolution.
Look, I had to get to work at 1 o'clock, so I usually catch the train at 12:15.
Like me, you always wait till the last minute.
That's right. I get up there, there's a sign on the blackboard.
On the blackboard, yeah.
Next train, 12:46. Which is useless. So I hop on the tram, go all the way down to Elstonwick, and the next train there is the same time, so I was sort of late.
That'll teach you.
Doesn't teach.
You probably would have been better staying on the tram.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe
Trams
not.
Such pains.
You get frustrated because at least the train, when it goes fast.
Yes,
but the tram just stops and starts and goes ding ding. Chum, 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 chum. We should have the branch sound effects for that, but
yes.
I found it was quite interesting. But
So you got into trouble from the Mars bar?
no, I didn't get in trouble from anybody actually.
Oh, that's good.
Because I rang up beforehand and said that the trains were cancelled, and I had no way of getting through.
That was very unfortunate.
It certainly was.
Cancelled trains. Of course, the new signal box broke down.
Oh
The
no!
new $2 million signal box in the Jollymont Yards.
How come?
Oh, it broke down because somebody pressed the wrong button.
Oh,
And they sent a Lilydale train to Caulfield.
but it's okay.
Which I thought was quite funny.
It would be funny if they sent one up the down line,
Yes.
and they met around a bend.
Yes.
It wouldn't be very good at all, actually.
So everybody had to get out, and of course, apparently, when all the signals jammed, well, there were trains stuck in the Jollymont Yards, and people had to do walks.
Had to do walks. Look, it's amazing the train system won't run as well as it does. And you know when they cancel them or people go on strike, it must be such a headache for the train controllers to make the best of what they can out of the mess.
It was more of a headache for people who are waiting to get on the train. I mean, it's bad enough in the morning, it's like a sardine factory.
Yeah.
But when there's one train an hour, there's people hanging out the door, just about getting clobbered by the pylons as it goes under a bridge.
I remember when there was a big strike. I won't say much about this, but look at it this way. It's late election time, and there's train strikes. Nah, no more comments on that, Missions, because it might be politically orientated. Anyway, I remember when there was a big train strike, and people hanging out the doors. I mean, in normal time, the guard would come out and spew because there's people hanging out the doors, but all these men with their briefcases and suits, all hanging out the doors, and they're almost getting squashed when it goes in a viaduct and all this sort of thing. Then it would stop in the middle of the rails, about 100 degrees heat, and then somebody's right in the middle would want to get out, and they would have to get out on the platform.
I don't know which is worse, being stuck in the middle on a really hot day, or falling out the door and thinking you're going to fall out and get killed.
That's right. And of course, it takes about 20 minutes at each station because everyone's got to come out of the train and got to be refilled again for somebody in the middle to get out. And everyone's all mad. And
yes, everyone rushes for the seats.
Yeah.
They might only want to go one station, but they'll rush for the seat instead of hanging around the door.
Yeah.
So they could be an inconvenience to all.
To all concerned.
Yes. I was almost late for the CW exams because of the train.
Now, I think that happened to me too, because I got mine at the same time. You didn't. No, you got yours. You had to do it again after me, I think.
Yes, that's right.
Because you did a failure.
Yes.
You weren't a good little
I was a
boy.
failure.
You didn't study all your CW. You didn't listen to VKBWI every night.
No.
Or that other one that was the Melbourne one that only came on. It was so erratic. Some nights would be on, other nights would be off.
Some nights you'd really yell and get people to get your dinner early.
Yes, exactly.
And then you come up and there's just nothing there. And you'd be so spewy you want to throw the sleeves out the window or go over to Miss Boyle and put it down her mouth.
Because I must admit, if you want CW practice, you want it every night.
Every night.
On the dot.
But the thing was, it went off. It was really regular. Then it went off.
Yes.
And some other people tried to start it, the same club, but different people.
Yeah.
And then it faded away. They never said it wasn't going to be on anymore. It just sort of faded into non-existence.
So you just had to continue just listening to high-speed stuff and slowing it down with your finger on the capstan to make it.
Yes.
But some nights the signal was good, other nights it was worse than the BWI signal.
Yes, it was, wasn't it?
But does BWI still do theirs?
Oh, yes. Because that's a major source of listening for a lot of people.
It's interesting the books they get it out of. They're just, interesting stuff sometimes.
Look, one of the books they got it out of
Yes.
was the exam. The text that they used was the same thing as I recognised.
Oh, no.
And I said, what a joke.
Inside Mations.
Yes, I was wondering, because it was only about 2 weeks before the exam.
Yeah.
And you think of how many million books they can get things out of.
Yes.
It just so happened it was the same one.
I wonder if they had to pay copyright for the CW. I doubt it.
Here at the beginning of the tape. This is a PMG CW examinations, copyright 1974 by the Jacaranda Press.
Yes. It's quite amazing, really, the CW. In fact, I would have liked to have, on the Melbourne one, I would have liked to have done it on 160. I mean, you could come on every night and say, this is, give the whole spiel. And
Yes.
and you could send out certain things on CW that would be sure to keep the people interested.
If nothing else.
Yes. You could instead of have crossband in CW. I had to relay what you said from 6 metres onto CW.
Yes. I can send CW from here. That is possible. Nobody'd hear me. Oh, but I'm on 1825.
I'll tell you what happened.
Like that.
On their things, some of the people who sent the local one were so poor at CW, it was impossible to make it.
Yes. Some of them. It was a bit unfortunate. I
Yeah.
think some of them...
And they had to get a special licence to do it. I mean, what gets me, they must have gone through such red tape to get the licence to do it. Then they only did it for a few months and gave it the miss. I wonder if the licence is still there.
I like the way every night they'd always ask for people who were listening to come up on 2 metres.
Yeah.
But most of the people listening didn't have an amateur licence anyway.
Well, this is it. Well, there's a lot of people who had limited calls. It was always the same people who came up.
But the thing is, I think they used to gauge how many people were listening by the number of people who came up on 2 metres.
Yeah, if no one came up, they'd say...
silly, because,
Because I remember the only metres I had, when I was YL, all I had was 6 metres.
Yes.
And one night the bloke said, we're listening on 6 metres AM. So I thought, oh, well, I'll speak to him on FM. But, he couldn't hear me or something.
You picked up your...
Hear the noise my phone keeps making? I think it's wrecked.
Oh, that's the blower.
Why does it do it when it's hung up?
It's obviously not hanging up properly.
I'm going to have to do this the same treatment to the 479 phone, I think.
Yes.
Hang on, we'll have to fix this phone.
Yeah, that's the blower.
Hello? Is that you, Brian?
Not saying very much.
It certainly sends a lot of
Oh, they must be testing the exchange.
I think they
is
said...
it really loud, is it?
I think they said more than plus 8 dB.
Yes, I'm wondering. How loud is it?
Quite.
Yeah.
Do you know the night, Christmas Eve, when all the kebab was going on, the silly phone did the same thing, and in the middle of an interrogation you hear, then everyone looks around, and because there's all these illegal wires hanging out of the wall, because I sort of just kicked it into the corner and made nothing of it.
You'll just have to hang it up and...
But it doesn't hang up. I can't do a thing. I've got this phone and I can't do a thing with it. They can listen on the other end when they're doing this too, you know.
There's so much level down the line, probably blow up their browns.
I'll stick a speaker across and see what comes out when I stick a speaker across the line.
No wonder you hear that sort of noise there's crosstalk sometimes
Oh,
if they
yeah.
stick so much level down the line.
Here, it's going to stick it across the speaker. Oh,
Must be loud.
it's incredible. That's an 8 ohm speaker as well. You can imagine the mismatch. Well, I think we'll try and hang this phone up. There. Now, how can I tell it's hung up? The only way is
Just to
try-
go downstairs and try that one out.
I could stick a Browns. Hang on. We're lacking gain. I know what's happening. I could stick a Browns into the. Oh, there we are.
Beep, 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 beep.
I can't hear anything. Seems to have gone off. Hello? Are you there?
Hello? Somebody must have dialed the service difficulties people, got them to send a blower down the line.
Could be.
Because they couldn't get through.
Can't hear anyone there. I don't know what's going on. The line seems to be wrecked. I don't know what's going on here. I better take another bill
Is there
listeners.
somebody...
No, stopped again. I don't know. This confounded phone's ringing. I wonder who it is.
Have you got dial tone?
Yes, but I think it's from settled down there. I know, I'll stick a speaker into the line and see if I get dial tone. I know it's... Oh, that won't work, will it? Because the speaker will terminate the line.
That's right, yes.
Have to plug in Browns. You have to guess.
Yes.
It's a very bad phone. It's almost as bad as the 479 phone, which is on its last days. Oh,
Yes,
yes.
I get.
Oh, have a listen and see who it is. Stopped again.
Oh, is it Tings, is it?
I think it's somebody just playing Tings. Most disconcerting, really. I'll turn you down a few dB. Harder.
That's only because I was coughing.
Ah, yes.
I was only cough whittling.
Cough whittling, eh? Yes, he'll be... better not say that.
Yes, back on again.
Yes, at least we know the phone is working because we got a few tings in. Anyway, I was speaking about trains.
Yes, train strikes.
Oh yes, is there a nuisance really? What's this about an exhibition in the museum?
Oh, the Seavers. Oh, it's just old Seavers. I haven't seen it myself.
Like they'll have like a half moon dial sievers.
Apparently there is one. Chris saw it.
Half moon dial sievers. Like the branches got with a cigarette butt
I'll
hole
tell
in
you
it.
what's on tomorrow.
What?
There's a display of army communication equipment
That would be good.
at the Chadstone Shopping Centre. Tomorrow,
What time?
well, I gather it's in the morning. So,
You mean they'll have 62...
yes, it will. Hello, it's on again.
2. If it's more than 2, it means it's a genuine call. Of course, that's the signal.
It was the regulation signal.
Must be a genuine call.
Must be a genuine call.
This is a genuine call, so excuse me a moment. Take it, Murray, will you? Oh, it's gone off again now. God, I wish I could find out who that chap is.
So let's have a listen, see if we can make of it.
We're getting some intermittent rings on the phone here. But not a genuine ring. Oh, they must be testing the line somewhere, surely.
Oh, it stopped again. It was... Did you hear like bips there?
Yes, I thought I heard some beeps.
Look, I'll just rattle the cord around and see if I can hear any speech. Nope. I don't know what that's all about.
Oh, I'll keep trying, whoever that is.
Yeah, hey, listen, fella, whoever it is,
You must
try.
get through. If you want to talk to Dave, talk to him. He'll talk to you.
Look, fella, if you want to talk to me, I'm here. Oh, go and jump in the lake.
But,
Back.
dog, shut up.
Thank you, back again.
Thank you, yeah.
Thank you, yes, back again.
Oh, on again.
Let's see if we can get it this time.
If it is any-
I'll try not to touch the phone, which is obviously broken. So I'll do it. Well, I don't know what's going on here. I think it's with somebody with a rather an unfortunate sense of humour.
Somebody putting beeps down the line.
Yes, look, whoever it is, just keep trying, because that makes 16 times. What's 20 cents by 16?
$3.20.
I prefer it if they paid it to me directly than to the PMG.
Why should they benefit from
Look,
entertainment tax?
you can imagine the PMG. I mean, they shouldn't spew because we earn them revenue. See, here the phone's all sick sounding.
Yes, it doesn't sound. You'll have to see the phone doctor.
You have to get the phone doctor onto it.
I suppose you better answer it. Hello?
Hello. It's not working too well. It just keeps hanging up. When the
There's something really wrong with that phone.
I think it's wrecked.
That's $3.40. What were we talking about? We were talking about trains.
Oh yes. Do you know Windsor Station's got a new... Windsor's got a new station. Well, it's about 1930 vintage instead of 1920.
Yes, I've been through Windsor. It's down in a hollow, isn't it?
Yeah, they're very interesting line that, because the VK3 RCM 160 working VK3 BK, because you don't normally go through that line.
Yes, it's a change to go down.
Yeah.
Yes, it is quite interesting.
I'd like to go to Pakenham. That'd be a good trip.
In the country.
Oh yes, in a red train.
It'd be really good when they electrify the line to Geelong. And then you could go flying along through the fields in the silver train on a hot day, where you can only open half of the windows.
Oh yeah.
And the air conditioning, the tape recording of the air conditioning noise that doesn't do anything.
Just to make it sound as if it's air
The
conditioning.
doors permanently closed while it's going, so you can suffocate.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what's wrong with that phone. I hope we're not. I hope that the fault in the line isn't just, hurting, making somebody not be able to contact me.
I hope they're not having to pay money for it.
Oh, I think it's only a local contact. Oh, there it is again. See what we can make of it this time.
The number to dial is 03.
No, don't give them that idea. I think it's somebody with an unfortunate sense of telephone, really.
Yes.
I better put this phone somewhere where I can answer it in a quicker position. I'll put it on a pedestal. A pedestal phone.
You would have thought they'd try and ring up the service difficulties by now.
Oh, they better not.
No, we wouldn't want it to create any problems.
Hello. I'll just test it. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Again.
That's on again. I'll see what it makes of it. Funny how it does that, isn't it? I wonder if it's at this end or the other end.
$3.80. Yes, I wonder.
Obviously somebody wants to, it may not even be for me, it might be a call for the fish.
What if it is?
Yes. It'd be quite bad if it was. Oh. Since I've dropped my new microphone, it's gone down in gain, Yeah.
There it is again. See if it is anyone.
I'll see if it is anyone. Quite amazing to
Someone
see.
will hit the jackpot next time they go in that phone booth.
It'll all come out of that little slot. Go to the St. Leonard's phone booth.
$4.
Yes. Yes. Oh, the mic has gone down in volume, in gain.
I wonder
Pity.
if they're actually listening in the phone booth.
I think they probably aren't. Or I don't know who it could. It could be anybody, of course. Who are we to know?
So you've dropped your new denser microphone, so it's not as dead.
Oh, here it is again. See what we can make of it this time.
Hey, God, there it is again, wasn't it, son? What do you make of it? What do you make of it? What do you make of it?
Well, what do you make of it?
What do you make of it?
I think it's somebody playing a game.
I don't know.
I think it must be somebody playing a game, surely.
Yes, Dave,
Yeah. No, you got to do it. You got to get something that dings. Here we are. Now, I'll do it again.
Right, again.
Yeah, we go 3 yen. Yes, Henry, I think someone's got a unfortunate sense of humour there.
I think it must be somebody playing a game, surely.
I think someone must be playing a joke, surely.
Yes, Dave, yes, I think someone has an unfortunate sense of humour there.
Wouldn't it rock you away? Wouldn't it rock you away?
I think someone must be playing a joke, surely.
Yes, Henry, I think someone's got a unfortunate sense of humour there.
Wouldn't it rock you, eh? 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 Wouldn't it rock you, eh?
People do listen, as I explained, so... And
We
look,
might have coats jumping out of the wardrobe, sure.
look, if Coates doesn't like this, there's nothing wrong with this. I mean, we're just testing our equipment to see how long it'll stay on before it burns. We're seeing how long your MTR-13 will stay pressed with before it blows up.
Yeah.
Can you imagine those things were meant for about 10-second contact?
Yeah. One night I just sat here with the button pressed down for 6 hours. So don't sit in taxis and do that sort of thing.
You can imagine the
You don't
output.
see them sitting outside Flinders Street Station with their finger stuck on the button doing crossfade mission.
You can imagine the output valve must be completely wrecked.
Oh, it's not running any more than it should be, really. But yes, inverters and things aren't designed for.
That's right.
So even 2-minute missions on repeaters they're not really designed for.
What actually, why don't you tape your button up? Do you mean you're sitting there holding a taxi button?
Yes.
you must look ridiculous sitting there with a taxi button. At least I sit here with a denser mic.
Well, I could do that.
But your denser mic is at the branch.
Yes. But I get feedback anyway.
It sounds more like a crossband when you've got taxi quality.
Looks so interesting with all these.
Ah.
Stopped again.
So what do you make of it? Make of it?
Well, I don't know.
There's this confounded phone's tinging. I wonder who it is.
I'll see if I can make it this time. Stopped again. Right. Actually, I had to talk to the people concerned about that.
Oh,
About the
yes.
sag and the wires and that, and they said that they'll trace it.
Oh, yes.
They said they've got very quick means of tracing the call, and if so, we'll act on it.
Ah.
So just off the record, it's up for trace.
Overhead, wires and things. See, there's no sag in them, and that. And I was speaking to him about it, and he said, we'll report it. He said we've got very quick means of tracing the call, and if so, we'll act on it. So anyone that's listening that is just making these calls, don't do it anymore, because you might be traced.
There it is again. Click goes the money, click, click, click.
You can hear the money tinkling down its box. Or going in it. I hear laughter down the street.
Laughter in the road.
B-E-K, he's half responsible for this. So,
I'm responsible for what?
for your side of the missions.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And I'm patching him through at minus 1 dB, which is a reference level for patching through on crossbands. Hello out there.
Hello?
Oh, yes.
What's up? Somebody outside?
There's a dog outside trying to bark close by here. Oh, do you know I was listening to the satellite before?
Yes, what's
You,
this is
you
again?
can actually hear it.
Tinkle, tinkle. Click. $4.60.
Anyway, I could just make out the beacon. It was up strong, about strength 2 for about a second, about a minute, then it faded out. But I haven't got proper
What was it
tenors.
sending out?
Just-
VKEN?
Just bips, just like long CW.
Oh, I see.
Bit like the repeater having a spew, going beep, 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 beep.
La, 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 la,
That's
la.
right.
So fast you can't make
Yes, you can't make of it at all.
Well, I suppose it serves its purpose. At least
It
you can
does.
hear it now. It was pretty useless before, because now it sounds so official.
Look, you parked, you got your car, and all of a sudden, out.
There it is again.
How much does that make?
What was 80?
Look, I think I've got. Look, fella,
Make it
just keep
even
trying to ring me up. I think there's something wrong with your STD phone.
Oh, is that what those beeps are?
Well, it could be STD. Then again, it might be.
just somebody playing a game and putting beeps down.
I think it could be.
Yes, well, it's only going to make it an even phone.
I only hope they're not being reverse charged. Look, if it's anybody playing a game, we'd like to hear from somebody genuine, but not an idiot. So that rules out him. Now, so if you want to talk to me, I'll talk. Oh. I think,
Go jump in the lake.
I think this will be a genuine call.
Obviously trying for 10.
Be good.
Obviously trying for 10.
10 what? $10. Righto, whoever.
Yeah, what we were talking about.
Something. Look, I might stick one of those eyeballs across the line, see if it flaps. Like in those old telephone exchanges,
Oh, there it is again.
I have to mute this bell.
Can you answer it? That's made it worse. I better answer it.
I better stick something in that bell to stop it from wrecking. I mean, that'll wake the fishes up and everything.
I'll answer it first.
There. But now I can't hear it. Tick. There. Obviously a nuisance call. It's amazing the people who...
They just don't give up.
Do you know what's in my phone? Ash. You know how the dial hangs out? The branch was here one day and he used the hole as an ashtray.
Oh,
So you can blame the misfunction of the phone on the branch.
there it is again.
That's too loud. I better do something about muting it. Hang on, where will I put this mic? There we are. Oh, that's a nice sound. That's just the sound you want.
Better answer it.
There still might be the fault in the line. I may not be able to make of it. Can you barely hear it? I'll have to have that beside my bed at night. Anyway, we'll see if it's anybody there of any importance. Oh, failed again.
Is that what happens every time you pick it up.
Well, every time it picks up, it apparently they can't get through.
Oh. Very strange.
It is. I think there must be a fault in the STD booth. Probably been kicked by vandals.
You're changing the percentage of unsuccessful calls at the moment.
Look, I think I'll just let that ting away, mate. Ting away.
That's $6.
You're joking. What a laugh.
Anyone else would ring up service difficulties.
I think there's only one difficulty in this thing. Now, where's the effects mic? The phone's so low in volume, I have to stick the effects mic in the phone. And I have to turn it on, of course. Where's the effects fader? There we are. We don't hear it, though.
I can. Listen.
Hello? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've got an effects fader for the phone now. Oh, good. Well, that doesn't disturb you anywhere near as much as a bell does. Of course, if he's listening, he'll be spewing because he thinks this type of contact is of no experimental use. But we're experimenting to see how much money people can spend.
Hey, never answer it.
Oh, it's back in the mic now.
Better answer it, I suppose. It might be a genuine call.
It won't be. I mean, it is.
It doesn't matter.
It's just that nobody...
This is...
It's getting unmuted all the time. The power expanded in this household by ringing bells must be incredible. 2, 3...
They're probably just about beside themselves because you won't answer the phone.
They've probably got something very important to say.
You need a second phone so you can ring up and tell you to answer the first phone.
Yeah, that's what they do in... Yeah. Look, I think whoever's doing this, you better move to another phone because the one you've got there is obviously defect and you're wasting a lot of money.
Vandals have deliberately arranged so that this phone number does not go through.
I think this could be a very major factor.
They came... God, they're pretty quick on the finger, aren't they?
Yes, they must be doing the
dial.
Yeah.
With great speed.
Great speed, yeah. What could I stick this through for a bit of a joke? I could stick it through a relay and see the relay flap. A relay flap. I've got a 500 ohm relay here. That should match into the line, shouldn't it?
Yes.
It probably will just terminate the line and waste people's monies. But we can try. Oh, there's a thing there. Nice. Got all this expensive equipment, it's all just wrapped around the place. It's a nuisance when fish are around because you can't talk loud and you've got to have the gain up, which is a nuisance factor, to say the least. I wonder if this is enough to drive this relay. Oh yeah. I think it answered the phone.
Let's pick up the phone, see what's going on.
Oh, well, that's not bad. If I stick that across the phone, the relay will just go click once and answer it, and you could have it. The relay clicks off a recording that says "Nobody home, goodbye." Click.
It's on again.
It's on again. I'll just find some clip leads to test this out with, I think. Where's it?
That phone is working overtime.
Yeah.
You can imagine the wires between here and Geelong are all burning up.
Probably. I'll stick it across across the relay.
No, it doesn't work.
Try again because we don't know what's going on here.
$6.60.
How utterly incredible, isn't it? That people would are wasting so much money. It's quite incredible indeed. I better make sure they're still there. Yeah.
Dial tone sounds very bassy out of your...
That's bass tip up, you see. What it is, if I have this relay connected across... I see. That might terminate the line. I don't know much about telephones. There we go, we'll leave that. We'll have to pick up.
But you're not meant to, because it's restricted information.
It doesn't seem to do much. Yeah. Anyway, what were we talking about? Trains?
Trains and boats and planes.
Oh, you were too, weren't we? Yes.
Train strikes and people hanging out.
People hanging out the window. Most disconcerting, to say the least.
There's an inspection going on at the moment of the underground tunnels.
I went on one of those.
Did you? Was it interesting?
Quite, yes. You'd go down underneath the ground and all that sort of thing. Yeah, it's quite informative and everything.
The branch was rather interested in the tunnel in Latrobe Street. You know, near where the Beasley works.
Ah, yes. Yes, it is a deep one, isn't it?
Also, it just goes. You can't see how deep it is from the street. It just keeps going down.
Just thinking a few more 1,000 years, we'll be able to go down there and catch a red train.
I'd want to because it's of so little.
We'll see what this relay does.
All it does is terminate lines.
Now, what I do, if you click it on twice, it does. Oh, I don't know what happens anyway.
Better leave it off, I suppose.
Yeah, and it terminates the line. Yeah, but apart from that, it's going exceptionally well.
It's not really.
Not for the person who's giving ting. But if there's anybody who wants to contact me, talk to me. I'll talk. But
only just... There it is again. Oh, listen, fella.
the branch was going to be doing some study tonight, so that's why he's not on.
Was he?
Studying some probability. Which is
binomial expansion.
Well, that sort of garbage. Yeah.
That got stopped then.
That stopped quick. It was much... Yeah, it was sort of...
Distribution and hyper...
Friday nights in the telephone exchange, there's all these relays flapping, you know.
They replace your relay every week. They look at it and it's all burnt up and worn out. They say, there's been a crossband on.
Yeah. Yes, this could be it. Oh, did you hear about Michael J. being terminated from his employment?
Yes, I believe this to be the case.
Apparently got retrenched, so I wonder what job he'll get now.
He might go back to school.
But he's learnt enough.
About what?
Nothing.
Oh, he might go back and do some other course.
I suppose he could, couldn't he?
Go to the Rodney...
the Rodney Institute of Advanced Engineering.
How to get your name in phone books.
All you just do, you ring up, you could be anybody. I'd like to be called an engineer, thank you.
They'll put that in the phone book.
What could I put in my phone book?
Announcers. N-O-U-N-E-O. And you have separate listings under VKASE.
You could too.
And under broadcasting stations you put... Stopped again.
Terminated the line.
Oh, you wouldn't be able to hear it.
Oh, well, I'll wait till like starting. Yeah, you can do all this sort of stuff and, yeah. That's not a bad idea, you know. Oh, hang on. Yeah. Anyway, you could do quite a bit. You could put underneath. You could put anything you like in the phone book if you pay.
That's right, yes. Doesn't cost that much, actually. I was thinking about putting VK, BK in there at one stage.
Does anyone put?
Just for a joke, under broadcast station.
But it's not a broadcast station. We're amateur stations, and we shouldn't pseudo broadcast like some people do.
I just thought it'd be a joke.
You
I
would be
wonder
a
if VK, BWI is not in there, actually.
So you do this on the Sunday morning.
Yes, that would be the only problem. I suppose you better see if it is anybody.
I hope the phone lines have been fixed.
Sounds like they must have their transistor turned up too loud. You can almost
The hiss.
You hear the hiss? Sounds like the Spotmaster with the beeps on it must be wearing out.
Yeah, it could be. The Beat Master.
The hiss on the line is tremendous.
The hiss on the line is tremendous. Beep, 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 beep. Yes. Look, do you think what do you think we should do about this? Fix the phone
I
or?
suppose you better say hello or something. See.
Okay, next time I will genuinely answer the phone. So,
Oh, the dial's wrenched around at great speed now. Like 479.
oh, here we are. I'll pick it up and see.
479 Victoria Road.
Hello. Right, we'll get direct on this.
Who's there?
We don't know who it is, but we think it's somebody with
They're not
rather.
saying anything.
They're not saying a thing. Oh, do you know outside of my mitter's shack?
Mm.
You know those black boards I got from the Cars Bazaar with little knobs and key switches on them?
Mm-hmm.
I've screwed one of them into the garage wall, and I've terminated all my audio leads for the mitters into that, and one of the knobs is a volume control for the mitters and all this. And I can key it for a local microphone or strange. There's something strange there. Anyway, I think we'll give the telephone the miss. Obviously, there is some line trouble between here and Brisbane.
If anyone's listening that thought we were serious about putting things in the phone book,
He was.
no, we weren't, because after all, that would be admitting that we were pseudo-broadcasting. And we're not, of course.
No, look, all we do, if people talk like this on 20 metres, it's just a chat.
And yet, if it's on 160 just because it's closer to home,
That's right. I mean, people just spew because it's more listenable, that's about all there is about it. Or because the signals are so strong, actually. If they were weak signals, people wouldn't worry about it. It's just the strength of the signal is logarithmic to the more spew-worthy people get on the missions. VKASE. Yeah, there's certainly mission noises in the background, isn't there?
guys, it's $8.20.
Incredible.
Must be trying for the Big Ten.
Maybe you do the Big Ten and the phone booth opens up and you get a free 160-metre mitters.
You might see a bag of ice come down the coin chutes.
Or maybe the dial just spins around and all numbers pop out and you get the jackpot.
Yes, and they're into a lucky number.
Yeah.
Where you might get one phone call free.
It's funny at 479, you dial and it just goes rip bang.
Does anything happen or does just the dial tone stay there?
It's sometimes at dial tone, sometimes you get the cheese by sometimes you get the switchboard, other times you just get funny noises or nothing. It's such a laugh, that phone now.
Well, I suppose somebody will port it.
Look, it's been like that for a week.
Isn't the Mars bar complained?
Well, he never uses that phone. And the Mars bar just sits in his Mars bar office and comes out when things wreck. We should have a Mars bar here that supervise missions.
Try again.
Yeah. But, silent number. What could we shove this ringing tone into? That'd be a bit of a joke. It's amazing how phone lines work. You shove something in them and they hang up. It needs to be of high impedance, obviously.
Play a crystal microphone in it. See the Rochelle salts drop away the floor.
The new Rochelle salts.
Get out your bacon and eggs for the morning. Get a crystal microphone at the top and the Rochelle salts.
You shake your static microphone all over your bacon and eggs to get the Rochelle salts. Piezoelectric effect out of your thing.
Yes. Because carbon would be good because you get the granules for coffee.
Yes. So you get a tin opener and open up all the phone booths and just rip out the carbon mics and get a tin opener and use that for coffee.
Yes. There it is again.
Yes. Have you still got that phone of yours with the limp dial?
No, it got thrown to the tip. Because Fish said it was of no use.
Actually, it's good having a dial like that at 479 because people with limp hands.
Makes it easier to dial.
Oh, what a laugh.
It'd be really good if it could dial that quickly.
Actually,
Good
what happens? It just slips the thing at the contacts don't even make. But I think it wouldn't trigger the relays fast enough.
No.
You just go. Be good for 160 metres, I guess.
Yes, it would be.
No. But actually, VK3AC, VK3BK, and the coat's hanging in the cupboard, and the fox is also. The coat's probably ringing up the fox and saying, "What do you make of it? What's going on here?" Dear, such a laugh. The coat might have to go and have a look at the Elephant Man soon.
Yes. Where's the Elephant Man work? Oh, we better not say because it won't give it away.
Yeah, we better not say whether he works or as a student or what he is. But they'll have to come around and get the next the sheep with the code of Elephant Man and the coat instead of that numbered one that they've already got.
Yes. We'll have 39 tonight.
But it's more fun to have it in mystery names, really.
It is, isn't it?
Like you have Elephant Man.
It makes people, over the time, it's so obvious. But at least it makes people think twice. They're not absolutely certain that it is a certain person.
I don't think even the coat would know who the coat is.
No. Well,
It's so far removed from reality. The fox, well, that's a bit more obvious. Particularly after some of the things that the branch has been saying.
yes. Who else is there?
The coat and the fox.
There's Father K.
Well, that's completely obvious.
Stopped again. No.
Well, it's still going. Oh,
People just do not give up.
some
Just standing there freezing to death in this green phone box with acoustic tiles on the wall, all scribbled on.
one of those would make a good studio. You could stand up. What you could do, you could have one out in your front yard. So when people come to visit late at night, they just stand up in there and talk on the phone into your missions. It would be good to have a phone booth. Yeah, I wonder if the White's listening. I hope not. I mean, I hope he is. I don't know.
Oh, yes.
I might get, well, bad comments.
In the morning.
Oh, what a laugh.
Yes.
Well, good evening, the White.
Hadn't you better answer that phone?
Well, it's been going now for a while, so I think I might just answer it. It's so incredible, isn't it?
No, they obviously don't read the instructions
Yes.
where it's got a picture there of an ambulance and everything. It says emergency calls on such and such. And it says local calls and all the rest of it. But it also says service difficulties
Oh,
and
yes.
results.
Obviously, I think the person who's trying to make those calls has no idea of how to make the missions work.
Doesn't know where to give the phone a bash.
There was a good phone down at Stony Point. Used to work for nothing.
Yes, there's one of those in the city too.
Don't divulge it, otherwise we have a queue.
Yes, there will be. You can imagine on Monday morning.
The PMG man's there fixing it up.
Yes, and there'll be all these people. There's a queue a mile long. There's people with their Trident receivers and things in their hands using this free phone.
Look, you know those new phones they install, it costs 10 cents and you got to put the money in before you can do things.
Yes.
They're useless.
Otherwise you hear buzz.
Yeah.
Although, yes, the STD phones you've got to put the money in first. Red phones you've got to put the money in first. But the brown phones, the in-between models,
Yeah.
you've got to put your money in to actually get through. I mean, you can't ring up the weather or anything.
No, but you can give
buzz.
tings.
You can give tings.
Yeah.
And of course the black ones, well, you can ring up the
You can
weather
do
for nothing.
you can do what you like. You can have a two-way contact if you yell into the earphone. You do get through.
Yes, my brother's tried that quite often.
It's relatively attenuated, about 90 dB.
You've got to really listen.
And if the line's bad, you got no hope. But you're yelling at all your voice into this earphone, and
Why
everyone's
don't people
looking.
take along portable?
Megaphones.
Yes, I know, portable carbon inserts, and just change things around a bit.
Well, I suppose you could. What you could do, you just take up emitters and stick the handset into the tank coil and talk.
What you do is you have this super 100 watt audio amplifiers,
Mm.
which you just connect across the phone line. It has to get through.
Yeah. Actually, these phones. What was I going to say? Yeah, it's amazing that when you do yell in the earpiece, that it does get through because it's just that minute voltage just going through all the lines and the relays and.
That's right, yes. Yes, it is incredible. But those phones used to be so good because you could ring people up and kill yourself laughing listening to them. That's all you heard.
That was good. Yeah, that was fun doing that.
Not that I ever did that.
No, but you just got the idea from somebody who might have done it. Like that record they put out of
Oh, yes.
people acting silly on phones, VK3OC working
That's hilarious.
VK3BK.
Hear the way people got so upset.
Yeah, it's a joke. Well, we've been talking for 2 hours about phones. Anything else that might have been of vague interest to us?
Looks like that other bloke's given up now.
Yeah. You might have got the message.
Might have rung up the service difficulties. He's got to do votes at the octagonal speakers department.
Look, I'm looking forward to that tomorrow. Going to the octagonal speaker department and lodging my vote in the room that smells like squashed lunches in brown paper bags. Do you know in that place they've got on the walls the same pictures that were there when I went there?
Oh, dude.
And if they have their receivers on...
It's got the smell of a pencil box.
Exactly! Exactly! That primary school pencil box smell.
You've heard of their pencil box and their Reeves crayon thing?
Oh, yes.
Reeves pastels with the greyhounds with the spots all
That's
over.
right. And the people had different types of pencil boxes. You know, the long one, the top wooden thing at the top sort of came out at a funny angle
Right.
with all these little holes in with different shapes for pencils. The others had those long vinyl tubes with a zip at the top. And I never used to have anything and used to always lose my pencils.
Yes, I walk around with my pens in my pocket. Yes.
Then you find all this ink all
Yes, that's
dripping out.
happened on a couple of occasions. If you put them in upside down
Uh,
and you go for a run or something, where
and
somebody...
Drysdale.
Our Drysdale correspondent isn't doing too well tonight.
I think his phone is having a spew.
He should, with all that money, he could have got a phone installed in his house and he wouldn't have these problems.
This would be it, yes.
$8.20. Could have bought a whole cord for that.
Wonder if he's got a license, a job yet. because he got sacked.
That was a pity.
He was probably busy at work listening to 160 metres when he should have been.
Yeah, so probably cassette replayers. Cassette edited.
Look, do you want a copy of your first broadcast? I'm about to erase it. I could give it to you on a cheap flip. You might.
Suppose it'd be a joke to keep.
Then the other one wouldn't be bad to keep either. Your last.
Oh, yes.
I'll tell you what. If you want criticism, your broadcasts are very getting to the stage of being very uninteresting.
Yes.
They're just sounding like a normal broadcast.
Yeah.
When you first started, you were a bit different, but you've got into the middle of just being a BWI apathetic
What, just because of the type of news and things?
type of news.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you could do
I tried to liven up the last one a little bit.
with news, but it's not the place for just general news, is it? It's not the place for just general news.
Oh, that other thing, yes. Well, the only thing that wasn't radio was the bit about the computer. I thought we'd have to finish off with something that wasn't particularly funny.
What computer was that?
The thing about the display of naughty words.
Oh, yes, I heard about that.
Yes.
Where do you get your emotions from? You should
Oh, no, look, we can't rev
you should subscribe to the one of the telex services like the aunties do, and they get all these little interesting things every day
Yes.
about people tripping over 10-cent coins and all this sort of jazz.
That was the only thing that wasn't radio. The CB thing, people said afterwards they thought it was very good indeed.
About the production of CB equipments.
Yes. Because I said that on Channel 1.
Yeah, I heard a few comments about that. But
of course we had the tape.
oh yes, I think I tuned off at that
It's always
stage.
a popular segment.
I'll tell you what, I meant to criticise you about this thing. What interest has a normal amateur got in listening to a speech from the Canadian Prime Minister in 1891, or listening to? No, this is true. I just thought it was just old distorted missions of the Canadian Prime Minister and a few other things. Now, the normal amateur couldn't give a darn whether it was the earliest recording.
Somebody said they thought it was very good.
Oh, well, they say that. But look, you could just do a broadcast of just hum for
They
50
say, oh, it
minutes.
was very good there, yes.
So I
No,
think,
but they made reference to the recording.
yeah, but it was nothing to do with radio. I mean,
Oh, yes, it was, because it was the first. Somebody
yes.
put their Edison cylinder disc thing in front of
the horn speaker.
horn speaker. There were two horns back to back, side to side.
Oh,
A double play.
so you get double distortions. Actually, it's amazing how bad the missions are. Well, I must admit, I've heard those original recordings so often.
Have you?
Oh, yes. When I was on better terms, I used to hear them quite often.
Well, the ones that were on last Sunday you wouldn't have heard because they were different.
Now, I think I have heard that Prime Minister, that Canadian bloke. In fact, I think it was on that show that I did,
Was it?
the first program. Of course, we were talking about today, this afternoon, about how we could jam that particular missions. So next time's on, well, take our signal generator out.
But he doesn't come on there anymore.
No, but he might. He said he might be on again. Well, I don't think they want him on there anymore.
Well, they've changed things around so much.
They've changed it all around. Speaking,
So that there's no one night of...
that's right. He could be on any night, actually. It's better having it like that because...
Oh, I don't think so, because you don't... Half the time you tune in all these
Oh, I don't know.
Greeks and Italians.
Anyway, I overheard a conversation the other day, and I was saying that, he's out for sure. No more mission. They got this big table.
Come on.
I saw the Mr. Short, and they got this big panel up with all written names of the different programs, and they've got big crosses, the ratings. They got the ratings. It'd be very interesting if you're listening to this in the boardroom. They got this thing like in the Gunston show.
Yes, right.
It's got ratings, and the WOG sessions are all high and all this sort of thing, and the poetry readings are high, but it's got a century of song crossed out sound, and it's got underneath it ratings so low we can't display them on this panel.
Oh, you see it upside down.
That's right.
You
So,
see it a negative, and people say, haven't you got that round the wrong way? I say, oh no. No, this is cruel. I don't mean that. I'm just joking if you're listening.
anyway, the ratings apparently of that particular program were particularly bad. So, actually, when I saw him last night, he wasn't.
Did you see it last night?
He dropped in on his way back from the branch.
I was in your place. Oh,
They just dropped in and didn't drop in. They just stopped outside while I was meeting, and I said hello, and they dropped out, went out again, 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 went out again.